WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, our website, www.wvtcradio.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users.
The views and opinions expressed on this broadcast are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of WVTC Radio Detroit, its advertisers, or affiliates.
It's time. It's time. It's time for the wake-up call, y'all. Come on. Come on.
Yeah,
Come on.
it's time for the wake-up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield and friends. Each and every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on the WVTC Detroit Radio Network.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's time. He's on the line. This is knowledge and power for every mankind. For every generation that's in these streets. We making sure you ain't walking in your sleep. We're in your town, your city and community, promoting good health, wealth, and unity. Re-educating everybody, y'all. Reverend Horace Sheffield, the wake-up call. It's for y'all. It's for y'all. Reverend Horace Sheffield, the wake-up call. It's for y'all. It's for y'all. Reverend Horace Sheffield.
And now, Reverend Horace Sheffield.
We're live and living color on the corner of Grand River, Wyoming. Y'all make some noise today. Got a lot of information for your transformation. Got a great show. A lot of good folks who will be here, but today is our special day because every first Saturday, the wake-up call is doing the free food distribution. We purchase food from the Eastern Market. When we say food, produce, fruit, vegetables, stuff that makes you happy and makes you healthy. We even feed fools who don't know how to be quiet sometimes. But anyway, that's our resident fool over there. And he come to be foolish every week. But come on by, we got those to give away. And we're going to be doing every first Saturday of every month. Also, we're excited to let you know we've got a WAVE project. We have partnered with the WAVE project to provide showers. It says for homeless people in our community, but they're people, we've done some research who live in homes and not homeless, don't have running water. And so it's a really nice portable truck that we parked on the bridge parking lot every Monday beginning August 14th, 21st and 28th from 8:30 a.m. Jennifer, this is only an hour and a half. We got to figure that out. That can't be true. But beginning 8:30 in the morning, you come over, take a shower. Normally they have clothes, change your clothes. We're working on all of that, so that's significant. If you're in the community, wherever you are, you don't have running water or you're homeless, you need to take a shower. You need to be refreshed. This is not baptism. This is a shower. Come over on the corner of Grand River in Livernois, 99 and 28 Grand River, the corner of Livernois, every Monday beginning August 14th. We also got this great program where you can get a skilled trade for free. You can attend a program we have. The tuition is free. Welding, commercial driver's license, CDLs, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, mechatronics technology, whatever that is, construction trades, carpentry, cement, mason, iron workers, laborers, and then entrepreneur training. We signed up over 150 people last week alone, David, and we were supposed to have 300 slots, but we revised that now. We can register up to 1,000 folks. We get some preparation for employment training, pre-employment skills, a variety of other wraparound services. So you want to call those you hear. There should be some flyers. If not, Jennifer or Deborah, if you can pass these out there in the back, people need to have them. You can scan the code and register. You're supposed to be 21 years of age, but if you're 18, they're figuring out a way to try to take you. What's up, David?
What's going on, man? What's going on? It's a beautiful day today. Not too sunny, not too hot. Looking forward to having it. By way of some of the resources that we're providing to the community, we do have a partner with the Detroit Medical Society on Saturday, September 9th. There's a free health and wellness fair at Wayne County Community College, and that's at the Denise Wellens Glover Welcome Center atrium. It's 8200 Outer Drive in Detroit, Michigan. At this particular fair, you have a chance to engage in free health screenings, like cooking demonstrations, learn about resources within our community, estate planning, dental care, women's health, and so much more. So again, that will be held on Saturday, September 9th, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and it's sponsored by the Detroit Medical Society. Again, it's a free community health and wellness fair. If you want more information here, we'll get that to you by the end of the
If
show.
you want more information, you go to the place, and someone will be on in a few moments. So, by the way, we've been neglected to mention that our call-in number is now working.
Yes, sir.
313-340-9524. 313-340-9524. Welcome your calls, comments. We don't take any nonsense over here. This is not one of them other stations where you can call in and talk about your mama, your daddy, and everybody else. I don't know. I just got a little different, older in age. I'm tired of black folks talking about black folks. Hello, somebody.
Yeah.
Then go to their job with white folks and won't say a word. You know.
Hey, real quick, can I talk about our young adult committee? This Tuesday at 8 o'clock. This Tuesday, August 8th at 7 p.m. we have what we call the College Hack. That's going to be held down at the Bridge Center. We're going to have guest speakers, free food, and gift cards giveaway. And we're getting ready to have a lot of young people going back to college. So we want to make sure they're prepared. We're going to give them some information. I'm going to get them together. And again, that's the Young Adult Committee. Come on out August 8th at 7 p.m. That's this Tuesday. And on Wednesday, everybody say Wednesday. It's our Community Empowerment Series continuation.
Community Empowerment Speaker Series.
Community Empower Speaker Series. Thank you, sir. And our speaker this week will be
Brittany Packnett Cunningham, and she's the one that termed the phrase Black Lives Matter. She organized a protest in Ferguson, Missouri. And by the way, we got a lot of great speakers. She's going to be followed by Cornel West in September, Erica Alexander, who produced the movie Good Trouble in October. Attorney General Keith Ellison from Minneapolis or Minnesota will be here in November. Jamal Bryant will be here in December. We booked L. Sharpton, Michael Eric Dyson. So we got a great series that lasts all the way through next year. It's absolutely free. Absolutely free. And Gerald, if somebody's calling, they can't do it from right there. You can't do it from right there.
right. So we want everybody to come out and enjoy these resources that we have for you coming up.
Yeah, so the main thing is that every first Saturday, we got this free fresh food distribution. We purchase this food. We've been grateful to our sponsors who've helped us do that. So it's, we not only have biscuits, grits, and salmon croquettes, but we have celery, tomatoes, cucumbers, broccoli. I don't know what's in the box, but it's certainly cholesterol lowering, not full of fat. It's not the Burger King. It's not McDonald's. It's none of those. So, at any rate, 313-340-9524, 313-340-9524. Come on by. Come sign up for the Skilled Trades program. You need to do that. If you got a young person sneaking in your house at night through the side door so you don't wake mama up, he's probably a good candidate to have him get a job. Hello, somebody. His job is not to find ways to get you to pay for his stuff, but to find ways to pay for his own. Hello, somebody. And I'm telling you, young ladies, if you can't come over to his house till mama's asleep and you got to be quiet on the way down, he probably ain't the right guy either. So, you have a lot of influence, so you need to tell that Negro to call 313-491-0003 and to be able to get on these skilled trades. But we got a call on the line. Let's welcome our first caller. Okay. All right. Well, don't kill that. We spent all this time. Hello? Okay, just kill it, man. Kill it. Just kill it. Kill it.
All right, so when you call in, we need you to turn your radio volume down because it causes feedback.
Ain't no radio volume. That ain't what that is. That's just not working right. Go ahead and say something. I'm going to call these people now.
All right, the wake up call. You can listen. You can listen on Hot 107.5. That's the digital number 2. That's digital number 2. That's 107.5.2. Again, you can listen to us also on WVTC. And also you can watch us on YouTube at The Wake Up Call Detroit. That's at The Wake Up Call Detroit. And finally on Facebook, The Wake Up Call Detroit as well. And of course, we are live here on the corner of Grand River and Wyoming. That's 12048 Grand River. You can come in right now, get breakfast, hot breakfast. That's biscuits, grits, and salmon croquettes. Free 99 for the 5-finger discount. And we really want you to be a part of what it is that we're doing here as we continue to give you information that stimulates the brain, stimulates the mind, that's good for you. So we want to feed you physically. We want to feed you mentally as well. So on today, we got a great show coming up here that they put together for us. We have Brianne, I believe I'm saying that the right way, Brianne Barrett, internal medicine physician for Detroit Medical Society. She's going to be talking about youth with diabetes, kidney failure, and hypertension. We also have our own state rep, Tyrone Carter from District 6, going to be talking about our historic state budget and other legislative matters. We're going to have Samara Hilton, Chief Marketing Officer for Div Dat Topic, talking about the topic will be our summer property tax season and staying current with essential bills and the Div Dat Bills payment kiosk and mobile app. And then lastly, we're going to have next to last, we're going to have Greg Bowens, author of the article From Detroit to Jackson, Black Judges Are Being Judged Unjustly. And then finally, we have Dr. Wilson Edward Reed, author of the book of Junebug. So again, we have a nice, robust show here for you today, and we're looking forward to you engaging us. You can give us a call if you want to be a part of this conversation. It's 313-340-9524. That's 313-320-9524. We're looking forward.
You might as well kill
to
that number, man. You know, I'm at ultimate frustration, but I won't express it all. We spend so much time doing this stuff, and it's always interesting because the engineers and the folks who handle the mechanical part of it always want to blame the folks who do the actual part of it. And this is something a little bit different. All right, well, we got breakfast here.
That's working.
that you can see by the line over there.
They got that working.
And
right.
Luke, can this come up just a little bit more on me or no? I like to hear my voice. So biscuits, grits, and salmon croquettes every Saturday morning here on the corner of Grand River, Wyoming. This is the Wake Up Call, and we're on 107.5, point two.
Right.
And where else are we at?
We are on, WVTC, and you can follow us on Facebook and see us live, too, at the Wake Up Call Detroit on Facebook, YouTube. You can look at the Wake Up Call Detroit as well, and then, too, WVTCradio.com/live. That's WVTCradio.com/live. Be a part, and if you can, click and share to your friends and loved ones, send it to your family, and so they can be a part of this discussion. And finally, if you want to be with us live, we got a nice group of people here. Y'all make some noise. I know y'all here. Folks think that we ain't doing nothing down here on the corner. We got folks that are committed, that are getting up, coming down, being part of the conversation. You excited? All right. We got.
Yeah,
all right.
She a Pointer sister.
All right. So again, come down. You can be a part of the conversation, part of the engagement. Leverett. Good morning.
All right, so don't forget next Wednesday our community speaker series. Brittany Packnett Cunningham is absolutely free. Please come and sign up for our skilled trades program. Actual job placement available at the end of that job. And, we just got so much going on. When you come here, you get everything done. But I'm really excited about our WAVE project. Significant numbers in our community are not able to keep their water on. Their water's off. And so you can come down there every Monday beginning August 14th and take a shower. August 14th beginning at 8:30. So that's the 14th, 21st, 28th. And we're going to continue this project based on how things go.
Right. And so, again, we're excited about what we got coming up, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have a wonderful show, and we'll be right back on the other side of this break. No break? We're rolling. All right, we are rolling. Forgive me. Sorry, Gerald. All right, we have our guest here now, Dr. Barrett.
Yeah, hey, good morning. How you doing?
Good, Dr. Barrett. I'm going to ask you talking to the mic, and we appreciate you being here with us, and this is something that's near and dear to my heart because I am diabetic type 2, and I'm trying to prevent kidney failure and and hypertension. Who's the guest you have with you?
This is Chef Jamel Hightower.
Okay, Chef, you're going to show us how to eat right, too, huh, Mr. Hightower? Well, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Let's back up real quick.
Yes, sir.
And talk about the Detroit Medical Society. I've had some history with them, with my dad having built Receiving Hospital. The old Dunbar Hospital, Geraldine Harris tried her best to revive that. It's still sitting there, hasn't been renovated. But the Detroit Medical Society is the Association of African American Physicians.
Correct. You got it.
Right.
Yes.
And are you a part of that?
I am.
Okay. You're a doctor.
I am.
Can somebody get Luke, because her volume is completely down? We're trying to work through our neophyte phase of our broadcast. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, so youth with diabetes, I don't know where you want to start, but we really want to make sure that you have time to share with us what we should be doing and how we should be doing it.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
All right. So the biggest thing that we wanted to look into is, in the office setting, us primary care doctors were only allowed to see one patient at a time in a day. And so what the goal is with these health fairs is to really create access points to health. Because a lot of times in our offices, we see people scared to go to the doctor, not understanding what doctors are saying, just kind of talking over their heads. So with these health fairs that we're doing quarterly, the goal is to create these access points to health. So at our health fair, we'll be offering the health screenings where we'll talk about high blood pressure, because blood pressure constantly changes in a person. So this is an opportunity to get a screening done. The best part about our fair is that it's being ran by physicians. So if there is an issue, a lot of us can also take care of you in our offices.
Mm-hmm. So, we have a clinic here, and we've been touted as having the best hypertension control project in the world.
Yep.
Dr. Tom Frieden was a part of that, and we're getting ready to start it again. I only bring that up because in our process of doing the work that we do here, one of the biggest problems we have is that most of our folks don't have a primary care physician, and even the ones who do don't utilize those services. So we have people coming in who for 7 years the doctor was just sending new scripts in for their blood pressure, never really finding out whether or not it's under control. And so what they were taking 7 years ago is not working 7 years later. So it's important for people to be screened. And, it's a lot easier, I think, when you have community fairs to be screened than to sit in the doctor's office sometimes. Because all my doctors are trained. If my appointment is at 10 o'clock, I'm not going in there at 1 o'clock. My time is precious. Anyway, I'm just spouting. So, it's important to have places where you can go and be screened and be able to get the information to take to your primary care physician.
Yeah, speaking to that, you talked about access points to health. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bishop. In Detroit, there's one primary care physician for every 6,000 people.
Yeah. We're definitely down, and then trying to get people to kind of continue to follow through with us. And with the advent of urgent cares, what's happening is that people are kind of going to these different urgent cares and not coordinating all their care with the primary care doctor. But we are here. We're ready to help and serve.
So this is going to be at Wayne County Community College District, the Denise Wellens Glover Welcome Center Atrium, which is the Northwest Campus on Outer Drive in Southfield, Saturday, September 9th. Do you need to pre-register?
Yep, you can pre-register right at Eventbrite. So you can go to Eventbrite. That's the best place, and then type in Detroit Medical Society Health Fair.
Cool.
And also, if you have the flyer, you can scan it.
And it works. That's
the new technology. Just scan,
All right, so Dr. Barrett, let's talk about this youth with diabetes specifically. I have a family member who was diagnosed with diabetes, and she still wanted to drink pop, still wanted to do all the things, didn't understand the severity with which type 2 can go to type 1 and things like that. Let's talk about that and how we can help shepherd them through the process.
I think that the best thing you can do is, number one, be screened, because things like diabetes, you do not feel it. Unfortunately, the feeling happens when it's really, really far out. So definitely, number one, screening. Number two, as Pastor Sheffield said, we need to make sure we're eating right. McDonald's, Burger King, any food that's coming from a window is not going to help you. You need fresh produce, as he said. Fresh produce is going to be what we need to do.
Yeah.
And most importantly, movement. We need to move. If you think about our genetics, most of us being African American, we come from the slave trade. We were fed bricks of salt. We were moving all day. Now we've gone into an era where we're sitting more. We're not eating right. We're not moving our bodies. And this has been the biggest thing that I've seen in our office.
Yeah,
so we need to move
your
our
body.
bodies.
And you know, I'm very sensitive to this. I've been type 2 diabetic for almost 20 years. And at different points in my journey, I've been off medication and on medication. And it's always been tied to weight loss and exercise. I played football, basketball. In fact, just got inducted last Sunday in the High School Football Hall of Fame. But I used to jog 10 miles. And my doctor says I probably was pre-diabetic or may have been type 2 earlier, but because of the physical activity, that it was masked.
Bingo.
But I'm very sensitive to what exercise does, but also what I eat. You know, because there's certain things that I eat that I know run my blood sugar right up.
And before
And let's also talk about monitoring, because I have people that I know that are type 2 and they never take their blood sugar.
Exactly. Monitoring is going to be so important. I think in the early part of treating the diabetes, we had glucometers. You had to prick your finger. But now Medicaid, Medicare are paying for continuous glucose monitors. So we're good.
Yeah.
We need to get the continuous glucose monitors going. You can talk to your doctor about it to constantly monitor your blood sugar.
And we
Yeah.
need to, and then I think too, also showing support for young people, letting them know there's nothing wrong with them. And I wanted to talk about this. You talked about diet, and then we'll move on to kidney failure, hypertension, and the chef maybe want to get into this too.
Okay, before we do that, are you a primary care physician?
I am a primary care physician.
And where are you practice at DMC?
I practice at Ascension Providence
Okay.
in Southfield.
I was born in Providence.
Hey.
You know where Providence was?
Tell me.
It was on the Boulevard and 14th.
Wow.
The old Providence Hospital. Right across, well, no, that was Hetchy Motor Sales before it was Conyers. But go ahead.
Wow. Yes.
And where'd you go to school?
I went to Michigan State University for undergrad and Michigan State for medical school.
Go
Okay,
green.
hey, y'all see y'all in the presence of a black female physician here, right? Let's give it up for her. A black doc.
Right.
You know, I always wanted to date a black female doctor, and they said, why? So she can work on me.
He's back.
All right, chef.
All right,
Chef.
so the connection between healthy eating too with our young people and their ability to pay attention, their ability to have better conflict resolution skills. People don't understand the importance that food plays in the development of our cognitive capacity and development as well. So if you could speak to that, if I'm correct.
So how y'all doing? My name is Jamel Hightower. I'm the owner of Hightower Catering. So my connection with directly with healthier eating and hypertension, I went through my own battle of learning about hypertension over a year ago, like a year and a half ago. And within my battle, working with my primary doctor, I learned that diet and exercise is one of the main things to naturally lower your blood pressure. So from there, I started my own seasoning line, which is either salt-free or lower in salt content. And from there, I partner with Dr. Standiford, and we go to the health fairs, and I implement healthier eating tutorials, which is one of the biggest factors with weight loss for me, getting my numbers down. So I do it through the health fairs. I go to schools, and I teach kids about healthier eating, just taking the chip out your diet, adding an apple, and even a lot of kids now, they use my seasoning, and they it's popular with the noodles. So they take the sodium packets out and use the seasoning. So it's important to me because my battle with hypertension was so drastic once I found out all the things that it causes. It causes liver failure.
Causes death.
So it causes death. So it kind of just shook me.
Yeah.
So for me, I had to do everything in an urgent matter, like right away. So I felt like it was very important to me to get in the community and teach black men, first of all, that never kind of go to the doctor, never had their numbers, don't even know that they have it. about changing some things so their back won't be against the wall like Matt was.
Bro, let me tell you, that whole thing about your health and African American men not going to the doctor or thinking that everything is okay is one thing, but when you talk about diabetes, and the doctor mentioned it earlier, that it's a silent killer, and very just transparent moment for me. I've been diabetic for about 17 years now, but prior to that, I was pre-diabetic. We went to the doctor, and my wife was in the room with me, and I'm like, diabetes, whatever. So the diet, they say it can cause kidney failure, it can cause heart disease, it can cause mess with your eyesight,
death.
It can cause death.
So let me.
Wait, hold on, one second. It can cause erectile dysfunction.
Yep.
Okay, man.
Listen to what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Ain't none of that get your attention till you hear that. When you
that ain't gonna get it up.
So again, once we share and find a common thing for men, that'll be that was mine.
So,
my wife was like, brother.
So my mother was a type 1 diabetic, and I watched her inject insulin. But what really changed me with respect to my personal care was my college roommate Angelo Kelly, who played football with me in Saginaw Valley, about 6'6". He was probably 350. He joined my church on the east side, and he was blind. And I had not seen him in all these years. And he never got his blood sugar under control. He went blind, and that's when he went to the doctor, when he absolutely could not see. Yeah. And then subsequent to that, this cut off, that cut off. And he, I don't know, it was a sepsis, whatever he got in the hospital the last time he died. So, I knew the severity of this, but to have someone who roomed with me in college, was a stellar athlete, to come and see him blind, and then have him, recount for me what happened, because he basically did not take care of his stuff. But I think it's important for you, Doc, to let people know that this is controllable.
100% controllable and even reversible and controlled with diet. So, thank you so much. So definitely the first step is knowing where you stand. You can't control anything if you don't know where you stand. That's number one. Number two, make sure you get a primary care doctor. If you don't like your doctor, find another doctor. Make sure you can ask questions. If you don't understand something, ask it 5 ways until you get it. So that's going to be the key. And making sure, insurance covers a lot of different things. So calling your insurance to say, hey, do you cover a blood pressure cuff? Do you cover a glucometer? And taking control of your health is going to be the best thing you can do, because we only get one body. Yeah. And what we're doing to it is an investment now for later.
So I got one better than that. You can come here to Premier Quality Health Center, where we have full-time community health workers who will actually be a liaison with your primary care physician, or we'll do it for you. We've had stellar success with high blood pressure. 80% of the folks who we got in our program between 10 days and I think 10 days and 21 days got their blood pressure under control and maintained it for over a year. But we do that because we have remote monitoring cups where we actually monitor your blood pressure while you're laying in the bed. Don't do it when David is thanking God his stuff still works, because your blood pressure might spike. And then we have community health workers. I mean, literally, who call those folks, who get them in exercise programs, who assist them with diets, because it's very important for you to be healthy.
And it's all free, ladies and gentlemen. It's all free, and we do have opportunities where we can actually come and get you. And if you need to go to the hospital after you've been monitored, you've been evaluated, we'll do that too. So we have the support here. There's really no excuse. We're talking with Dr. Barrett, internal medicine physician.
Who's Dr. Standifer?
That's me.
Standifer Barrett.
Are you married name?
Okay, because I grew up across the street on Hazelett, or it's Standifers.
It's possible.
Yeah, that's not a common name. Yeah, they were. I knew, lived across the 6363 Hazelett.
Wow.
All right, so we're talking with Dr. Barrett, fraternal medicine physician, representing Detroit Medical Society. And they have a free community health and wellness fair that take place September 9th, 2023 from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Wayne County Community College. That's going to be in the atrium there, 8200 West Outer Drive at Southfield. If you want more information, you can go to Eventbrite and put in Detroit Medical Society where you can register for this particular event. Does Detroit Medical Society have a website or a phone number?
Yep, we do. It's the DetroitMedicalSociety.org.
Go to DetroitMedicalSociety.org. And Doc, can we make sure she gets one of these we're doing free showers with a portable truck that comes every Monday beginning on the 14th. And it says for homeless. I got to change that because people won't come because they don't think they're homeless. We have folks in their homes who don't have the ability to pay for their water bills. They've been cut off and we want to make sure they get a shower. So you take that and refer folks. All right, we'll be right back after this.
This is your Reverend Horace Sheffield, the wake-up call.
It's the wake-up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. We'll be right back on WVTC Radio Detroit.
Hi, I'm Stacy Reeves, General Supervisor for DTE. As part of our plan to make your power more reliable, we're installing new smart technology. When it's up and running, our smart grid will have fewer and shorter power interruptions. Our crews are out every day doing everything in their power to deliver the reliability you deserve. DTE.
Get ready, Saturday, August 5th, as the world's biggest party comes to the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater. It's D-Nice and Club Quarantine Live.
Welcome to CQ. D-Nice.
You partied with him on Instagram. Now's your chance to experience D-Nice and Club Quarantine Live. Tickets on sale now. Available at thearetha.com, the box office, and Ticketmaster.com. For D-Nice and Club Quarantine Live. Brought to you by The Right Productions.
My name is D-Nice, although I hate to admit it.
At the Detroit Water and Sewerage Department, we're working hard to protect pipes by cleaning public sewer lines to reduce flooding and speeding up the replacement of lead service lines. Protect your pipes with 3 easy tips. Pour grease into containers, toss wipes in the trash can, and check for running toilets, leaky pipes, and dripping faucets. For more tips, go to detroitmi.gov/protect pipes. DWSD, working hard to protect pipes for you.
Peace and quiet. Whoever you are, sooner or later, you're going to need some. If only there was a beautiful place just minutes from where you live, where you'll find a perfect little piece of peace and quiet. Turns out there is. Your Huron-Clinton Metro Parks. With 25,000 acres, there's plenty of peace and quiet to go around. They're your Metro Parks. Come see what all the noise is about. Learn more at metroparks.com.
I'm Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabri. We are living through unprecedented times. As a result, the Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund was created. This fund, administered by the state of Michigan, is designed to help homeowners cope with pandemic-related hardships, such as delinquent property taxes. Residents may apply for up to $25,000 to help cover 2019, 2020, and 2021 tax years. Previous year's taxes must be paid in full or in a payment agreement with the Treasurer's Office. Eligible homeowners must have a qualified financial hardship that occurred on or after January 21st, 2020. You must currently own and occupy your home as your primary residence and must have owned it since January 21st, 2020. To see if you qualify, please visit waynemetro.org, call 313-388-9799, or email taxinfo@waynecounty.com. We're here to help.
Join us for the Detroit Association of Black Organizations Community Empowerment Speaker Series featuring prolific voices that will enlighten and inform. Come hear amazing speakers like radio host Joe Madison, actor Hill Harper, hip-hop artist MC Search, actress Erica Alexander, the incomparable Dr. Cornel West, and much more. The series takes place monthly at the Bridge Center, located at 9928 Grand River. Please visit www.debodetroitinc.com.
From the cotton fields of Mississippi to the highest halls of education around the United States of America. Junebug is a story of inspiration that proves that hard work and perseverance is the answer to anyone's dreams and aspirations to make them come true. Go to MississippiJunebug.net and order your copy today. Junebug, the novel by Wilson Edward Reed.
It's for y'all. It's for y'all. Reverend Horace Sheffield in the wake-up call.
All right. Make some noise. We are back here full effect on the corner of Wyoming and Grand River. You're here with the wake-up call with Horace Sheffield and friends. We just got finished talking with Dr. Baird, internal medicine physician from Detroit Medical Society, talking about youth diabetes, kidney failure, and hypertension, how we can eat better and things of that nature. We're going to eat better, y'all? We're going to do better? No? Are y'all? Talk back to me now. All right, we got our good friend and colleague and person that I hold in high esteem. A lot of times we don't know who's watching us. And I was a late bloomer, I guess, at the Wayne County Sheriff's Office where I currently work. But prior to that, I didn't work there, but I was able to watch our state rep who retired from there a long time ago matriculate through it. And he's hasn't stopped, didn't retire, but he's still advocating for the people of Detroit for a better quality of life, sustainability, and fighting against certain things. Today he's going to be talking with us about our state budget and other legislative matters. And, I didn't even say his name. I'm sorry. State Rep Tyrone Carter. You all right, Mr. Carter?
I'm doing well this morning.
Good. How's everything in Southwest?
Everything's well in Southwest. Everything's well in the city for the most part. This budget has been transformational, but most people don't know what it means or how it's going to impact their lives. So we'll have a conversation about that.
Luke, can we get some more on his mic for me if you can? All right, so wherever you want to start about the budget, and it's important, too, to know that we got Joe Tate, we got a lot of other representatives that are working on our behalf, and so we just want to make sure that the people know what's being done. And I know if Ed was here, he always talks about accountability and making sure that we're getting the information that we need. So wherever you want to start, Tyrone.
Well, first and foremost, it has been the largest budget in the history of the state of Michigan. We're talking about $80 billion. So a lot of it was federal monies. But the biggest thing is, and for those of you who want to look it up, Bridge Magazine had a great article that said for the first time in decades, Detroit received $210 million. And I can highlight a few of those things real quick. I got my little notes here.
Take your time, sir.
So a lot of people don't know that the Prince Mason's Hall over on St. Aubin and Gratiot flooded 4 times, and the city said it wasn't their responsibility. We were able to get $1.5 million to restore that historic building. People think about, well, how does that impact? Let's think about the Prince Hall and what they've meant to the black community. This is the first time ever that somebody has given them any money for that historical building. The other thing, we got money for Wayne State pregnancy, $3 million for PAL. The one that I really fought for was $4 million for UAD Dental. A lot of people don't know that during COVID, most dentist offices were closed. UAD Dental was open. You had hospitals referring people to UAD Dental, but they took an 80% haircut. They used to get $5 million from the state. They cut them to $1 million. I was able to restore that back to $5 million. What that means is they go around to schools. Yeah, that's worthy of a clap. Because when we think about health, we think about mental health, we think about physical health. People really don't think about oral health. So, to get that bus to go around to schools to get young people not afraid when they go to the dentist, because some of them never go to the dentist until it's literally too late. So that was a huge win. $3 million for the gun case backlog, $7 million for the Pope Francis homeless center that they're building over behind, what is that, Buchanan, used to be the Detroit Fire Department's training center. DMC got $5 million. Now, people say, well, why would you give DMC, that's a private entity, money? Let's imagine that.
For-profit entity.
For profit. Well, let's just imagine that DMC doesn't exist right now. Where are people going to go? Sinai Grace, Hutzel. So sometimes you have to do things and hold your nose for the greater good of the people that they serve. The other thing is Henry Ford is talking about investing $1.5 billion. And I'll say this, having had COVID, during COVID, if you had it, Henry Ford was the place that you wanted to go for best outcomes. Henry Ford is going to invest $1.5 billion in that corridor area. Because what we found out, we have what we call medical tourists. I've got a lot of friends with heart issues that go down to the Cleveland Clinic. People that have cancer go to the Mayo Clinic. Why are we going places when we could invest here? So Henry Ford is talking about doing $1.5 billion to $2 billion right there on the corner of the Boulevard and the Lodge. So they received money. Let me see.
Now, while you going on that list, you'll notice that Dabo's not on it. We did have.
Who's your rep?
Hold on a second. We had conversations with Joe Tate and others, the speaker, and I know there's going to be some supplementals
yes.
in October, November. So I'm putting that on your mind now. We bought that beautiful library down the street. We've spent $1 million in land and building. We bought property behind there, and now we're working on some funds for our health project, which we're expanding beyond Detroit. But we really need to be able to get your help, Brother Carter. You know the great work we do. So
as the chair of the Detroit caucus, you have to bring those things to my attention.
I'm going to do that.
Okay,
you
just did.
Hold on a second. I'm bringing it to your attention right now. Y'all heard what I said? Get me some bacon. Bacon, 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 bacon.
And so with the budget process, and there's a supplemental, which means we can come back and take care of some things that we didn't get in the budget. But we have been working on this since we got elected, since we got in power. So we're talking about 7-8 months.
You mean since the Democrats have had power
Yes.
In the House, in the Senate? And let's just put a pin on that real quick, because that can go backwards. We've enjoyed something we've not had in 40 years. And the difference is we voted. And we got a presidential election coming up. There are going to be some more folks on the ballot. And I just want to make that commercial, if he doesn't advertise it, that we need to continue to support our Democratic candidates and make certain we get out to vote.
Rev, I couldn't have said it better. I was going to say that later after we got into, what this budget means for everyday people. Something as simple as yesterday, we had a press conference because $2.5 million went into lawyers for tenant court so that people can have representation for unfair evictions. So that might not sound like anything to anybody in this room.
That's that 2.5 that they announced yesterday.
Yes.
I saw you in the picture with my daughter. That's pretty huge.
It is. My goal is to, as a legislator, is to fill those holes in those safety nets that used to exist for our communities. We've lost a lot of things and a lot of opportunities. So this budget, and Rev Sheffield hit this on the head. For the first time in 40 years, first time in some of you all's lifetimes, we've had the House, the Senate, and the governor. And folks have been talking about what Detroit didn't get. You may read the newspaper and they keep talking about pet projects, pork projects in different communities. Well, this group got a lacrosse court. I don't have time for luxuries. My job is to make sure we get necessities. I'm trying to get money. We got $1.2 million for housing rehabilitation. When some communities are talking about solar panels on roof, I'm talking about trying to get shingles on folks' roofs.
Yes, sir.
I'm talking about trying to get, stairs so that they can stay in compliance to keep their insurance. So those are necessities that other folks just have. We haven't had that opportunity. We were able to get money for PAL. And I'll say this, with everything that has gone on with our young people, we put the training facility here in the city. We put money in, there's a Google place here. If you have a young person that is sitting at home idle, you need to get in contact with me because we got some things for them to do to keep them busy so that they're not doing things that they shouldn't do and can't get out of.
Yeah, and they should come and sign up for our skilled trades program. I don't know if this was passed out to you, but several skilled trades, tuition is absolutely free. Welding, CDLs, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, mechatronics, technology, construction trades, carpentry, cement, masons, ironworkers. 491-0003. We have support service. Let's see if we can get this caller to work. Welcome to the show, Lisa. Lisa?
Hi, thank you for taking my call. And to your guest.
Wait a minute, let's give a big hand. We got our phones working. Hold on, Lisa. Hey, you're our first caller.
retroactive instead of proactive. We have too many liquor stores in our community. We have too many fast food restaurants in our community. We have too many poisons in our community. So the state can dump $1 billion into the city, but if we don't correct some of these poisons in our community, it'll just be a waste of money. We can't talk about hypertension, diabetes, and some of these other chronic conditions until we have real, true access to better food and also places for people to exercise. It's very important. We're still not a walkable community. We have too many cars in our community. There are a lot of carcinogens in the city of Detroit, basically in the state of Michigan. But so what are we going to do about some of those things?
So did you get a question talking about, all the projects you're talking about, but there are issues with hypertension and things of that nature that need to be supported so that people can have healthier lives?
So, yeah, I caught that, and also about the types of businesses in the communities.
Mm-hmm.
Those are city ordinances. No city wants the state to come in and determine and dictate to them what kind of businesses. If we have an issue, like I covered Detroit and River Rouge, I've got too many marijuana stores in River Rouge, probably per capita, than any other city in the state. But the city residents determined that that's what they wanted. So when it comes to the health issue and the disparities, that was the reason we put money toward health care. But there's only so much we can do when it comes to personal choices and opportunities. My job is to make sure that the resources are there when the people need them, whether it's through Henry Ford Health, whether it's through DMC, Hutzel's, Mount Sinai Grace. We've done those things. And remember, it has been 40 years in the making. There's just some things we're not going to get to.
Right.
We have limited resources. This is just not a blank check. So we have to prioritize those things. And if somebody has a great idea, I'm willing to listen to it. Just like, Reverend Sheffield said, hey, what about the Dabo Center? Let's sit down and have a conversation as opposed to saying what didn't happen. Because what we don't want to do is let good overshadow great.
Right. So, State Rep, I have a question. I guess I would like you to really talk about how we engage the community in the election process. And I'm saying this because I know this is something that is near and dear to your heart as a native Detroiter who had the opportunity to leave, but who chose to stay and has dedicated his life to making sure, as I mentioned before, that the quality of life of the citizens of Detroit is as best as it can be. How can we spread that type of love and encourage people to become part of the election process? We know we have over 500,000 registered voters in the city of Detroit. How can we get them to be a part of what you talked about?
Right.
The resolution or the solution, not the problem.
If I had that magic pill, I'd win every election I've ever run, and I've lost quite a few. But the biggest thing is, the reality is that non-voters outnumber voters almost 3 or 4 to 1. So you think about it, the tyranny of the minority. The minority gets to choose who leads this city. The minority of voters get to decide who represents you at every level, whether it's at your school board, whether it's at city council, your mayor, up to congressional seats. You have to wonder, what is it that makes people just not want to vote or check out of the system? And what I can say to them is, if you look at this budget and what it's going to mean to your community, something like Farwell Field that doesn't have a gym that is going to get one now because of this budget, something that impacts your community that you can advocate for. Representation matters. Yeah. We need to get away from letting any and everybody represent us.
I tell people, I have people come in here. Jennifer does our basic needs stuff, right? So you have people come in here and they got every kind of conceivable gripe about someone in the state that didn't do this. They were entitled to that. And I tell them all the time, I said, well, that person sitting behind a desk as a civil service employee or whatever they are, works for somebody that was elected, whether it's the governor, whoever it is. And so in essence, those people who are denying you your rights and your access are only able to do it because you didn't vote. And so that's why I tell people, I mean, it's not just about the president of the United States. I really feel local government, state government is more important because that affects us. You know, and I wanted to ask you a quick question. I mean, it's a little bit different, but you know, being there, we had the whole thing about fake electors in the state of Michigan, and now we see one of the statewide candidates got indicted. I mean, what's your thoughts on some of that?
There's a song by a young lady from Detroit called Lizzo. And I think it's called It's About Damn Time.
Yeah.
You know, we've watched this mockery of democracy for a long time. Normally when a person loses, they're gracious and say, okay, the better team won, the better candidate won. But I've never seen, I'm 61 years old, I've never seen anything like this before in my life. Where a guy is just like, hey, I'm not giving it up.
Right.
And I'm going to call some co-conspirators. Who can I call around the country? Hey, can you find me 10,000 votes in Georgia? Hey, can we go and bang on the walls down at the Huntington place and then come up to Lansing and have fake electors come through the back door to try to change the process?
Yeah.
What kind of, when I saw the person who's being charged talking about this shouldn't happen in America, well, to me, he's gotten away with too much for far too long. He's been wrong for so long that he thinks everything he does is right.
Yeah. So here's the issue, man. I mean, first of all, I don't want to give kudos to too many Republicans, but at least the leaders of the legislature rejected it when they went to Washington. They didn't participate in it, so we should give them kudos for that. But these people have gotten so crazy that now, what's the senator from South Carolina? Lindsey Graham is now saying that the jury system is tainted. You know, I mean, it's almost as if they have ignored everything we've said about the non-impartiality and the prejudice of the judicial system, and now all of a sudden, because it's Trump, there's something wrong with the system.
So when they talk about the weaponization of the federal government justice system, we can look at what it has done to the black community for decades. You know, something as simple as following Martin Luther King or saying that the Black Panthers were a certain group. It's been weaponized against the black community for a long time, and we've been talking about it. We've been talking about jury selection, jury pools. So all of a sudden, since it's their person, now everything comes into question. Like what we were saying had no legitimacy, and we see that all the time now with so many exonerees being let go because the justice system is flawed.
Yeah, right. So 313-340-9524, 313-340-9524 is our caller number. We're talking with State Representative Tyrone Carter, who's down in the Dog Leg area. They still call it Dog Leg down there, Tyrone?
Yeah, we changed that.
What do you call it now? South Sheffield?
Southwest.
Southwest. Okay. David?
Real quick, by way of announcement, license plate 4802L5, 4802L5. You have a Lincoln, you are blocking, and they're going to tow you.
What kind of car is it?
It's a Lincoln, 4802L5.
Right. Okay, hold on. I'll get that $100 from her now, the fine for parking. And I'm working on parking. So let's just do some speculative stuff.
Let's freestyle. Let's go.
All right. So some say the governor has no further ambition. Some say she does. What do you say?
I say that not only does she have further ambition, she has further opportunities for what she's done with the state. You think about now, and you watch the national shows, whether it's CNN, she'll never be on Fox, but when they talk about what has taken place in the last election, Michigan is like a beacon of hope for other states because we flipped the House that people just saw. And you see the lawsuit down in Alabama about drawing lines and gerrymandering.
Yes.
Because they've always favored certain parties. But this one hurt us. Let's be clear. This redistricting hurt us in the city of Detroit. It might have helped the Democrats, but it hurt us in the city of Detroit. And I say us because I'm a Detroiter through and through. But we were able to flip the House. And so other states are looking at us for legislation, something as simple as gun legislation. Michigan is able to pass those laws when other states, something as simple as safe storage. a law to say lock your guns up out of the way of people. So Michigan has been a lightning rod. When you look at something as, whether you agree with it or not, LGBTQ things, Michigan has done things when they've had over 500 LGBTQ bills across the country. Michigan has blocked all of those things to make sure that people are treated equally and fairly.
Yeah,
That's not existing in other states.
Yeah, Michigan has really become, a model. I mean, it's just amazing to me because we were so close to going so far the other way. So we're talking politics, right?
Let me tell you one other thing, Rev. This is funny. The other day, I'm at an event, and the former governor who ruined Flint and lives for generations was at the event, and now he's running around saying that we got to take the House back. He's really engaging in trying to get back in politics with his dirty hands.
Yeah, he's committed some funds and the whole effort to be able to return Michigan to Republican control.
So if you don't think that voting matters, think about who's getting back in after what he's done to make sure that we don't have majority.
All right, so we're talking politics. Let's talk the mayor running for governor. What have you heard about that?
Right now, it's a whisper campaign. It's early in the game. I've heard quite a few names that are putting feelers out.
Jocelyn
as they
Benson
say.
is interested.
Maybe the sheriff in Genesee County. Every time you look up, he's somewhere.
Swanson.
Right.
Yes. So to me, there's no slam dunks anymore, and it's going to be interesting to see what kind of campaigns get run and who gets the phone call to stay at home.
Yeah, we got 1 minute left. So how do people reach you?
Man, you're gonna make me pull out.
Don't
my
worry about it.
business
Just give.
Easiest email Tyrone Carter at michiganhouse@mi.house.gov.
All right, and I'll send you an official.
And I'm District 1.
Right.
So if you go to the page and you put 1, I'm the chair of the Detroit caucus, which has 23 members, 15 reps and 8 senators. So we can cover 3 counties now. So we can have that conversation about representation and what redistricting did. Next time.
District 1, number 1, and we're going to get that official communique to you so we can be included in one of these supplementals. We're talking with State Representative Tyrone Carter. I'd be remiss if we didn't say a shout out to our brother who's in heaven. I'm going to do something in my new building, Brother Isaac Robinson.
We're having an event for him, and I'll get you the information.
Please do.
On
That's
his
my
birthday.
man. All right, we'll be right back. When we come back, we're going to talk about DivDat and how you can pay your bills. Everything except money to pay them. We'll be right back after this.
It's for y'all, Reverend Horace Sheffield, in the wake-up call.
It's the Wake Up Call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. We'll be right back on WVTC Radio Detroit.
The original bad boys of R&B Jodeci are back, headlining the Summer Block Party Tour with SWV and Drew Hill at the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater, August 10th. Get ready for the ultimate party of the summer and sing along to all your favorite hits. Get tickets now from the box office and Ticketmaster.com. Presented by Live Nation Urban.
What are you doing this week? This weekend? All year long? If you're not sure, take yourself someplace where there's more to do every day. Your Huron-Clinton Metro Parks, where you'll find glorious nature and classes, crafting, concerts, competitions, and that's just the C's. With hundreds of events all year long, you'll never run out of things to do. They're your Metro Parks. See more, do more, and learn more at metroparks.com/events.
I'm Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabri. We are living through unprecedented times. As a result, the Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund was created. This fund, administered by the state of Michigan, is designed to help homeowners cope with pandemic-related hardships, such as delinquent property taxes. Residents may apply for up to $25,000 to help cover 2019, 2020, and 2021 tax years. Previous year's taxes must be paid in full or in a payment agreement with the Treasurer's Office. Eligible homeowners must have a qualified financial hardship that occurred on or after January 21st, 2020, You must currently own and occupy your home as your primary residence and must have owned it since January 21st, 2020. To see if you qualify, please visit waynemetro.org, call 313-388-9799, or email taxinfo@waynecounty.com.
Join us for the Detroit Association of Black Organizations Community Empowerment Speaker Series featuring prolific voices that will enlighten and inform. Come hear amazing speakers like radio host Joe Madison, actor Hill Harper, hip-hop artist MC Search, actress Erica Alexander, the incomparable Dr. Cornel West, and much more. The series takes place monthly at the Bridge Center, located at 9928 Grand River. Please visit www.debodetroitinc.com.
At the Detroit Water and Sewerage Department, we're working hard to protect pipes by cleaning public sewer lines to reduce flooding and speeding up the replacement of lead service lines. Protect your pipes with 3 easy tips. Pour grease into containers, toss wipes in the trash can, and check for running toilets, leaky pipes, and dripping faucets. For more tips, go to detroitmi.gov/protect pipes. DWSD, working hard to protect pipes for you.
From the cotton fields of Mississippi to the highest halls of education around the United States of America, Junebug is a story of inspiration that proves that hard work and perseverance is the answer to anyone's dreams and aspirations to make them come true. Go to MississippiJunebug.net and order your copy today. Junebug, the novel by Wilson Edward Reed.
It's for y'all. It's for y'all, Reverend Horace Sheffield in the wake-up call.
All right, we're back in Live and Living Color. Make some noise. I don't know. Give me a minute. All right, we're on the corner of Grand River, Wyoming, and everything you need is here. Everything you want, we can try to get, but we try to supply needs and not necessarily respond to wants. We've been blessed to have the ability for people to come in and pay their bills. At one point, DTE was a part of DivDat. It was all combined, but we have a separate kiosk now for DTE. You can pay your bills. But we've had DivDat now here for about 3 years. And go ahead, David.
Yeah, so we're here talking with Ms. Hamilton, Chief Marketing Officer for DivDat, talking about our summer property tax season and staying current with essential bills on DivDat's bill payment kiosk and mobile app. Welcome to the show, Ms. Hamilton.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here with you all. We very much appreciate the ability to host the DivDat bill payment kiosk here at Dabo, and also to better serve the community. You all are doing such important things here, and we're very proud to be a sponsor on an ongoing basis, and wanted to talk to you a little bit about the property tax season. So as you know, it's summer property tax season is upon us, both for Wayne County and the city of Detroit, and I just wanted to give a couple reminders to all you folks. So in addition to the ability to pay on both your city and your county taxes in partial, the full payments are coming due for summer. Just a reminder, for City of Detroit summer taxes, if you pay the first half by August 15th, the second half is then due by January 15th. So you get a little bit of a bonus period, if you will, if you pay a little bit up front, if you will. Or you can pay in full by August 31st. So that's an important thing to remember. And of course, you can pay those City of Detroit summer property taxes on the DivDat bill payment kiosk or on the DivDat mobile app, which is available on Google Play for Android, as well as on the App Store for Apple phones, if you prefer to pay on your phone. Of course, the DivDat bill payment kiosk accepts cash, personal and business checks, as well as credit and debit cards. So it's very convenient, and you don't have to go get a money order or a cashier's check. one other thing to mention, winter taxes, those are due in full on January 15th. So we have plenty of time for that, but did want to just mention that the summer taxes are coming due, and we've got in market over 75 kiosks in Metro Detroit. And you can find a full list of those DivDat bill payment kiosks where you can pay things such as property taxes, your DWSD bills, as well as multiple other city bills.
36 District Court.
Indeed, yes.
Parking
thank you.
tickets.
Exactly.
But you know what's good about coming here and stand up, Sister Harris? Sister Harris does property tax exemptions.
Wonderful.
So you come in here, you know, you got a bill that you got to pay. There's a lot of folks who come in here don't even have to pay taxes, but they don't have a property tax exemption. So you want to come by here and see Sister Harris and see whether or not you're eligible. There's a significant number of folks who, based on income and a variety of things, could probably get that tax bill reduced. So you can come here, pay your taxes, but you can also work something out with us where we can help you manage what your tax bill is as well.
That's fantastic.
And I'm sorry, and also, where's Jennifer Hall? Is she gone? So Jennifer also handles our utilities. So in most instances, we can avoid a shut-off. We have channels with the water department and utilities. We can put a hold on the shut-off, and we can generally find some way of getting you some money. We had a lady come in here, and I don't understand it. They had a $5,000 DT bill. If my $230 bill ain't paid, they cut me off.
That's right.
But we found a way to pay that woman's bill. Wonderful. So, you know, everything you need, pay your bills. I would suggest see us before you pay it, but you can pay it here. And is there a fee?
There is no fee to pay your bills to the city. So
how about that?
How about that?
So again, we're here talking with Samara. Did I say it right?
You did.
Samara,
Thank you.
just like the singer.
Samara Hamilton, and we're talking about summer property tax season, which is August 15th, she mentioned, and then also the winter is January 15th.
January 15th.
And so again, we're getting this information to you so you can be responsible, so you can hold on to your property.
And I meant to mention too, David.
Yes, sir.
Get on it. So if you're not eligible for property tax exemption, we work with the Wayne County Treasurer who helps us sponsor our radio and TV show so that you can actually get a payment plan. And so there's ways to assist you, but by no means should you ignore it. You've got to pay it.
Absolutely.
That's right.
And once that is all done, stop in and see our people. We'll call the treasurer's office. We'll set something up, and then they'll tell you how much you got to pay, and you can work out a payment plan.
And you know, it's important too, if you don't understand the document that you've been sent, as Bishop just said, don't ignore it. Bring it here. Sister Harris or one of the other staff will help you understand what's going on, and then we can help you navigate or shepherd you through the process. So again, we're talking with Samara.
Yes, thank you.
And I got to keep saying it the right way. Chief Marketing Officer for DivDat, and she's sharing the resources. Now, you did mention that this can be downloaded from the Apple Store or the Google Store.
Absolutely. So in addition to the network of bill payment kiosks across Metro Detroit, we do have a mobile app. It's free to use, free to download, and that's available for Apple phones on the App Store and for Androids on Google Play.
And so, I think we ought to talk about why it's important to come here and some of the locations that you have. You know, this is a very safe, secure building. I have former Detroit police officers who are under my employ. So we always have people in the building that protect you, but there's never been anything ever happen here. And you go to some of these other locations to pay bills, or you go to some of these grocery stores. They charge you an extraordinary amount of money. And so this is a really safe and no cost way for you to be able to pay your bills.
Absolutely, and I will say, you know, the difference and the reason that we were insistent on partnering with the city and the county to make the cash bill payments free is because folks don't have extra money to be spending on cashier's checks and MoneyGrams. It's not fair to have to pay more money to pay your bills. So we encourage you to come here and use the kiosk at Dabo, as well as, again, in any of our over 70 retail locations and municipal locations across Metro Detroit.
All right, again, take advantage of these resources. Again, here at Dabo, we try to provide linkages for you to make your quality of life easier. And again, which Ms. Hamilton has just stated, you can go to the kiosks all over the city. They're safe. And then, two, you can overcome any obstacles or any stressful situations by downloading the app. A lot of you use your cell phones or go on. I'm sure, do you have a website too they can pay?
We sure do.
As well?
Yep. And so right from the city of Detroit, you can pay there, and you can follow the prompts on the website to pay your water bill, or as Reverend mentioned, pay any of the other departmental bills. I think we support 26 city departments, so just about any bill or any permit fee that you might have to pay, you can do so online on the city's website, and that's powered by DivDat.
So on DivDat's website, or is there a way to find the closest DivDat kiosk?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you for asking.
Yes.
This is a long one, so you might want to write this down. Or if you go to divdat.com, right in the upper right-hand corner of the website, there is a locate a kiosk button, which is orange. So you can push that, or the address is locations.divdatkiosknetwork.com. I'll say that again because it's a long one. Locations.divdatkiosknetwork.com. And there you will have, I know it's a long one, so I'll give you a shortcut in a minute, but that will give you the full list of all of the 70 plus Metro Detroit DivDat kiosk locations here at Dabo, as well as in other retail stores and municipal buildings across the city, but as well as in other states if you happen to travel. We've got some now in Lansing too, so that's exciting. But the easiest way, if y'all have a cell phone and are open to downloading the mobile app, on the mobile app, there are also that locations list as well as turn-by-turn directions. So it's integrated with a Google Map, so it would take you right to the closest one.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, it's important. I asked the question because you want to make sure that you get the one that's closest to you, the one that you feel comfortable going to, and the one that you feel is the safest. And then what I like to do is actually call the location to make sure that the DivDat machine is up and running and that they're open. So you can go, you won't waste your time going there, but you can actually be able to transact whatever business that you're trying to do. So if I got this right, Ms. Hamilton, it's locations.divdatkiosk.network.com.
I'm sorry, DivDat Kiosk Network.
Kiosk Network.
Sorry.
Locations, DivDat Kiosk Network. That's not bad. .com.
It's not.
You just
it's right.
type it in. And I've seen people now, they just talking to their phones, or a lot of times they just say it right into it. So again, if you want to find a location, and there are over 70 locations here in the city, and she just mentioned they have some in Lansing as well, you can go to that website, or you can go to divdat.com and go to the right.
Upper right button.
Upper right button, and find a location where you can go and, safely take care of your business. Again, we're talking with Ms. Hamilton, Chief Marketing Officer of DivDat. And again, she reminded us that our summer taxes are due August 15th. That's exactly 10 days from today.
It's very close.
10 days from today. So you want to make sure you do that. And then Bishop Sheffield talked about coming in and getting information about how you can pay your property taxes, or you may in fact be exempt. You can talk with the staff here. You can give us a call here at 313-491-0003, 313-491-0003. Ask for Ms. Harris, and she'll try to help you with that. If you're having concerns about some of your utilities, you can call Jennifer Hall at that same number. It's 313-491-0003. Try to find some programming or link you to some resources that could assist you with it. And if you just want to come down and pay your bill, you can come down here to the safe location on the corner of Grand River and Wyoming. That's 12048 Grand River. We have a DivDat machine here where you can take care and transact your business.
Hey, you know what we're going to do?
What we going to do?
I'm always giving stuff away, right?
Yes, sir.
Trying to find ways to help people. We're going to do, have her come back on a day, and I'm going to go to some of my business friends and raise some money, and we'll give out a certain amount of money to a certain number of people to pay their utility bill. How about that?
Y'all hear that?
I would love to match that.
Can you pay my bill?
I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to go out and raise it.
Okay.
And you're going to match it up to what amount?
Let's say 5,000.
Oh, we got it. Done. All right. 10,000 Div DAC Pay Your Bill Day.
All
You got that? Work with her. Let's schedule that sometime. Let's see. When is the moratorium? It starts October 1st?
I believe October 1st.
So let's do it before October 1st. Because on October 1st comes, there's no shutoffs anyway.
That's right.
And we want to be able to help people so that when that comes off, they will have already paid some of their bill down.
Perfect.
Y'all hear that? 5,000. Can I get the bacon or what? You see, I told Tyrone Carter he can't come up over here and talk about all the money he gave the folk and can't give us none. So I want to remind you, by the way, I don't know if you know this. Where's my shower? My shower.
You gave it away.
Give me a shower of
wave.
flyers.
We got the wave happening.
I had a bunch of them done. Okay, that's not it. So we're giving showers here every Monday at the Bridge Center. Every Monday at 8:30, beginning on the 14th. And we're working on the clothes because what they do is they come, you get a free shower, and then if you need clothing, it says for the homeless, but we know there are people in their homes that don't have running water. So I'm really happy to do this every August 14th, 21st, and 28th. We got to take a commercial break. When we come back. Oh, we keep going? Okay, Greg's going to come up. Okay. But every Monday, 14th, 21st, 28th, you heard our good friend match it to $5,000. We'll raise that. I'll give some of it. And we're going to give out $10,000 to pay people's utility bills. Keep the lights on. All right, come on, Brother Greg. Every Saturday we here, by the way, 8 to 10, biscuits, grits, salmon, croquettes. The wake-up call with Reverend Sheffield. We also have this skilled trades program. Hopefully you got this. If you got some young men, some young women that want a good paying job, the actual college training is absolutely free. We've got a grant to be able to pay people's tuition for welding technology, commercial driver's license, CDL, State of Michigan testing, endorsement preparation, driving simulations, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, mechanitronics, whatever it is, construction trades, carpentry, cement, mason, iron workers, laborers, and of course, entrepreneurship training. You can develop your own business, create and expand your company. All that is absolutely free. All right, come on, David. I need some help up here. I know you've been solo when I'm not here, but we got Brother Greg Bowens in the house. Hey, Greg.
Hey, what's happening?
Greg,
How are you?
Was that your wife I saw you with on Facebook?
Yeah.
I didn't know you were married.
I'm glad it was.
How long you been married?
Two times.
All right,
Second time is a charm.
How long you been married this time?
16.
Wow. Okay.
Congratulations.
16 your wife looked nice, and you look like a really nice couple. And I said to myself, that's got to be Greg's wife.
I know, right? Well, we went to Cass together. She grew up down the way in Rosedale.
Okay, well, Cass.
Second person I met at Cass.
Second person. What year did you come out again?
83.
83. 11 years after me.
I know.
I was the class of 72. Mighty class of 72. Over 1,000 graduates. Our ceremony was down in what is now Straight Gate Church. At that time, it was owned by the Board of Education, Atlee Stevenson Building. Oh. Before that, it was Temple Baptist that moved because they refused to allow black people to join their church. And I always was mad. My dad was mad. A lot of folk protested and said Detroit Public Schools should not have bailed them out and bought that building from them. But that's a whole nother history. But you doing history. You tell us about what black folks are doing, ain't doing, what's happening to them. Tell them that it ain't a dream, it's a nightmare. And so lately, you've authored From Detroit to Jackson, black judges are being judged unfairly. I have to share with you the letters that I wrote to the Judicial Tenure Commission.
Tell me about it.
What I got back was a bunch of hodgepodge, a bunch of nonsense. But they obviously we're in larger numbers represented in some of the proceedings that they engage in. So just tell us from your own standpoint in your research, what is the problem and how are black judges treated differently?
Yeah, I wrote a column that went national here last week about black judges in Detroit and Mississippi being unfairly prosecuted, black folks in both of these places, in Michigan and Mississippi, being disenfranchised because of black judges being removed from the bench. And so in Mississippi, they passed a law, Horace, for Jackson, Mississippi, that prevents black people from voting for their judges. That's outrageous. Now, you know they're voting for black judges and putting black judges on there. And Jackson, Mississippi is the capital of Mississippi, which adds insult to injury. And instead of folks being able to vote for their own judges, they will be appointed by the state. And so that's what happened there. And then the connection with Detroit, what we found is in Michigan, Horace and the ACLU and the NAACP had all written letters to the Supreme Court saying, hey, we looked at the numbers, and in the last 4 years, 80% of all the judges that have been investigated and punished in the state of Michigan were black. 80% of them. Now, I don't know how you get to that number. They're saying that the Michigan Judicial Tenure Commission that regulates judges says that, well, you know, when you add in the white people that we were going to investigate it, but they quit.
Yeah, they bow out before the
Right.
investigation actually happens. So, so black folks say they're going to stick and fight.
Right.
The rest of them are engaged in flight.
Exactly, which means that even the white folks feel like that the system is not fair. So they don't even take their chances on it. But the other thing with black folks, and you know how tough it is for us, Horace, even today in the 21st century, only 4% of all the lawyers out there nationally are black. So if you get removed from the bench, which is really rare around the country, how much harder do you think it would be for you to be able to get a job at a law firm or something like that afterwards?
Yeah.
It's so rare. And so we have to stay there and fight. Whatever the charges is, somebody makes a complaint, we got to stay there and fight. Now, this is not to say that judges are perfect. We know judges make mistakes. We know it's hard to stand up for some of these judges, you know? But at the same time, black folks aren't more prone to break the rules than their white counterparts.
No, it's always selective prosecution.
Right.
We don't break the law more. It's just that we're the ones that's enforced
right
against. And that's true whether, I mean, you look at, for example, we talk about policing.
Mm-hmm.
So policing is basically based on where the police are to be able to ascertain whether crimes are committed. And so they police our neighborhoods more heavily than they do. And even in Detroit, for example, I mean, you talk about University District as opposed to Schoolcraft and Evergreen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a different police presence. I don't know, and help me, Greg.
Yeah.
And I got to find this book and expose you. I had it in my doctoral program where a bunch of folks actually did research and proved that there was bias in terms of the system. Hey, come on, y'all got to cut the noise down. But why is it so difficult for people to believe that the maiden of justice may be blindfolded, but she's wearing cheesecloth? That there is bias before the bench.
Because we want to believe. Our desire is to believe in the good of the world and that everything is fair and balanced in some kind of way. We want to believe that so bad, and so that can sometimes cloud our judgment when the evidence is right before us. You know?
Yeah,
that's what I think.
And then I also think that even when you get, when you get into the system,
mm-hmm.
once you actually charged, I mean, even how you're charged, and all the things that happen that are incumbent or attendant to that initial offense is even different.
Well, yeah. I mean, we saw it with, they just did prison reform and sentencing reform.
Right.
Remember the difference between powder cocaine and crack cocaine,
Right,
even though crack is made from powder cocaine.
Right.
And the reason why they dropped the hammer with crack cocaine was because it was more black folks.
Right.
You know? And so we see those sentencing disparities, and there was an effort to try and balance those things out. If I'm not mistaken, there was reform to create some parity between crack and regular cocaine.
Yeah.
But the point being is that, we just saw last week in the paper, it came out in the news, with his brother who was convicted of drug dealing in a federal court. The federal judge has said, well, you look like a criminal.
Mm-hmm.
You look like a criminal. So, you know, it's like, you know, forget your defense, forget all this stuff. I'm looking at your brother. You standing right here before me. You look like a criminal.
Yeah.
Guilty.
Yeah. Well, we know white folks have stole more with pencils and erasers and whiteout than we've ever with a gun.
Oh, for sure.
And there's a difference. You know, I'm gonna get my last point in, and I know Dave is chopping at the bit to ask you a question. So, I'm a quasi comedian.
Oh,
and so, and Mike Epps and I talked about it. Mike said he's gonna use it when he's in the fall. I said, like, brother goes to court, right? He got charged with something, and the judge says, "Do you have an attorney?" No. Why? I don't need one. Well, what are you pleading? I'm pleading Trump. Nothing happens to him, nothing should happen to me.
Right.
So, Greg, again, thanks for being on the show. I want to go back to the article. What caused you or prompted you to actually do this piece?
I had been hearing about this issue for a while, and like the rest of us, I've been reading. I follow the news, pretty closely as part of what I do for a living, public and media relations, politics, stuff like that. And I kept seeing black judges always getting thrown under the bus. Now it's when you see a complaint, right? Somebody files a complaint, it goes to the Michigan Judicial Commission. They investigate it, and then they hold hearings and they determine whether or not it's true, and then they make a recommendation to the state Supreme Court, who actually decides whether or not to follow up on the recommendation. We may have seen just last week, a good friend of mine, Tracy Green, Judge Green. She grew up right down the street.
My neighbor lives across the street from me.
She lives across the street from you now?
Yeah.
Well, she and I went to Monier. We went to Noble together. I've known her all her life, cast together. And she finally became a lawyer, became a judge. And, she had made some poor choices when it came to a particular son.
Her son. I mean,
right?
Right.
And she was splashed all across the media before they had done their investigation, anything. It was, terrible person, all this stuff. And I see that time and time again when it comes to black judges.
Yeah. And what about our friend?
The complaint puts it out there. And so they have recommended that she be removed from the bench, but the state Supreme Court said, no, we'll just give her a suspension. Now, I think that happened in light of your efforts and the efforts of the NAACP in pointing out that she's one of the 80%. Right. One of the 80%. You're going to drop the hammer on her, remove her from the bench, and drag her name through the mud in the press. And we know there are white judges out state that are acting inappropriately.
Yeah. And Judge Nance, I mean, they kind of try to bring her into that whole situation that happened in Mackinac.
Right. Oh, no, I mean, look, anytime you see a complaint, you feel like it's bad. It's always a bad situation, and we like, hey,
okay, so I gotta say this, though.
Well, you shouldn't have.
I gotta say this, and it may be controversial.
No.
So I lived in a house with a man that never had a scandal, my dad. Mm-hmm. And my dad used to tell me all the time that, because, he wouldn't bail Buddy Battle out. Raise the money so, he wouldn't go to jail and all that.
Right.
And my dad always said, why do black folks feel? He said, Charlie Diggs sat in my front room and my dad chaired his legal defense fund. I never thought this was happening. My dad said, why do we think they're going to treat us differently? You can't give them anything. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's some instances where maybe other folks got a pass, but they got a pass because the folk who pass out the passes look like them.
Right.
Help me, Greg. We just can't do what they do and expect to be treated differently.
You know what? I agree with that, but I will submit to you that we ain't doing nothing any differently than anybody else at a greater rate than anybody else. Now it's true. We know we grow up in a society that's biased from us, coming all the way. We know institutionalized racism was baked into the system, born out of slavery, refined in Jim Crow. We understand the microscope is on us. Yet at the same time, we also understand that we are not any more prone to anybody else to do something wrong. We're not looking to get away. We're not looking to skate by on something. We're not looking to do wrong because we feel like we're more empowered and have a greater position. But at the same time, we know that when the hammer comes, I used to tell my son this, I'd be like, son, now you are in middle school. You are one of 2 or 3 black kids in this class, and everybody cutting up in the back, and the teacher look in the back, and she see everybody cutting up. But you know what she see more than anything else? She see that raisin in the oatmeal. You might not be doing anything. You might just be in there with the pack, but her eye is drawn to you. And I feel like that's the same situation that happens to us all the time.
I agree with all that, but when you see the raising need to be in place. I mean, when you talk about, and I don't disagree. Yeah. I think there's bias. I think it's unjust. But when you talk about people like Paul Ropes and folks like that were persecuted and prosecuted, these were folks they were attacked because of how they were standing up for us. I'm just simply saying that if you know that there's a double standard, you know that they scrutinize what you do a little bit differently, right? Then we have to also make certain that we protect ourselves, and so that when they do come and they say we found some stuff, it ain't your stuff.
Well,
that's
Horace,
all I'm saying.
Horace, I would submit to you this. Consider this, that the system is not fair. Period.
Yes, sir.
I agree with that, but we know that's a prima facie.
You can't beat an unfair system.
Yeah, but you can't give them the rope to hang you either.
The rope is already there.
If they hang me and I didn't do it, then that's redemptive. That's different. But if I give them all the ammunition and I give them everything they need, I can't say it's simply because I'm black, because we know there's some.
Well, hey, let me say this: if you have a black person and another person that did the exact same thing, right. I think that's what Greg's talking about.
I agree with that part.
All things being equal, except for the fact.
But we know that. We've known that for 50 years.
So
they don't
that's
treat
the part
us,
that's
they
not
don't
fair.
treat us like they treat white folks, because white folks run the system.
I'm saying you cannot escape it. You can try and be as squeaky clean as you want. They'll find something.
I agree.
Everybody in this room, everybody in this system has.
All right. You know, my daddy said they find some shit, just make sure it ain't yours. We'll be right after this.
This is y'all, Reverend Horace Sheffield in the Wake Up Call.
Reverend Horace Sheffield is live, and it's the Wake Up Call on WVTC Radio Detroit.
Join us for the Detroit Association of Black Organizations Community Empowerment Speaker Series featuring prolific voices that will enlighten and inform. Come hear amazing speakers like radio host Joe Madison, actor Hill Harper, hip-hop artist MC Search, actress Erica Alexander, the incomparable Dr. Cornel West, and much more. The series takes place monthly at the Bridge Center, located at 9928 Grand River. Please visit www.debodetroitinc.com.
Come on. The original bad boys of R&B Jodeci are back, headlining the Summer Block Party Tour with SWV and Drew Hill at the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater, August 10th. Get ready for the ultimate party of the summer and sing along to all your favorite hits. Get tickets now from the box office and Ticketmaster.com. Presented by Live Nation Urban.
I'm Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabri. We are living through unprecedented times. As a result, the Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund was created. This fund, administered by the state of Michigan, is designed to help homeowners cope with pandemic-related hardships, such as delinquent property taxes. Residents may apply for up to $25,000 to help cover 2019, 2020, and 2021 tax years. Previous year's taxes must be paid in full or in a payment agreement with the Treasurer's Office. Eligible homeowners must have a qualified financial hardship that occurred on or after January 21st, 2020. You must currently own and occupy your home as your primary residence and must have owned it since January 21st, 2020. To see if you qualify, please visit waynemetro.org, call 313-388-9799, or email taxinfo@waynecounty.com. We're here to help.
Here's the thing about golf. If you like golf, you love golf. And if you love golf, you love it a lot. Like a lot. And when the weather is even the slightest bit accommodating, you grab your clubs and head to your Huron-Clinton Metro Parks. Because 7 regulation courses is a lot to love. Like a lot. They're your Metro Parks. Come to play and bring your clubs. Learn more at metroparks.com.
At the Detroit Water and Sewerage Department, we're working hard to protect pipes by cleaning public sewer lines to reduce flooding and speeding up the replacement of lead service lines. Protect your pipes with 3 easy tips. Pour grease into containers, toss wipes in the trash can, and check for running toilets, leaky pipes, and dripping faucets. For more tips, go to detroitmi.gov/protect pipes. DWSD, working hard to protect pipes for you.
Hi, I'm Stacy Reeves, General Supervisor for DTE. As part of our plan to make your power more reliable, we're installing new smart technology. When it's up and running, our smart grid will have fewer and shorter power interruptions. Our crews are out every day doing everything in their power to deliver the reliability you deserve. DTE.
From the cotton fields of Mississippi to the highest halls of education around the United States of America, Junebug is a story of inspiration that proves that hard work and perseverance is the answer to anyone's dreams and aspirations to make them come true. Go to MississippiJunebug.net and order your copy today. Junebug, the novel by Wilson Edward Reed.
It's for y'all. It's for y'all. Reverend Horace Sheffield in the wake-up call.
All right. We are back. Our last segment here. We are going to be talking with Dr. Wilson Edward Reed, the author of Junebug. And this is a novel.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Can you hear me?
Good morning.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay.
Dr. Reed, can you hear me?
Good morning.
Dr. Reed,
Good morning.
Dr. Reed, can you hear me? Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Dr. Reed.
Good morning, Reverend.
Dr. Reed, are you there? Dr. Reed, are you there? All right, well, we're going to get this worked out, but we're going to be talking with Dr. Reed, who is the author of Junebug, talking about one child's journey from a segregated school bus in Redwood, Mississippi, to a PhD in Northern Arizona University. And this is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to learn about how this young man rose above limitations of Jim Crow to find success on his own terms. And it's ironic, as in our last segment, we were talking with Greg about how we've overcome some of the institutional racism and some of the experiences that folks have had. And before we get into it, while we work this out, it's amazing at how many people, even our own people, black folks, say that institutional racism doesn't exist.
Right. Right.
And that it doesn't exist, but we do have not only this fictional expression of it, but folks have really lived this. And people will say that, what is institutional racism? Is he there? We got you, Dr. Reed. And so again, how a person goes and overcomes these types of things. So I think it falls in line with our last conversation in terms of what the expectations are for Black Americans here trying to matriculate or go through this or navigate this terrain.
For sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, we just left a Trump administration in the Trump years where it was all crazy and racism was out in the open. We had Charlottesville, right, where the people running around with tiki torches talking about Jews will not replace us. Well, if they were saying that about Jews, you know what they were saying about black folks. They just couldn't come up with the cheer quick enough at the time. And that was in our face. That was a scary time. And this whole fight today, we them fools down in Florida, the Department of Miseducation, talking about there were benefits to slavery. Some black folks learned some skills and they learned and they benefited from slavery, during that time, as if somehow we just poof, appeared and with no skills.
And Greg, that's not.
We had skills when we came here.
Greg, that's not to say even through the experiences that we
Right.
do have that we can't make lemonade out of lemons, but to minimize that experience and to say that
Right.
there are benefits of slavery is an insult. It's disrespectful, it's insensitive, and it's irresponsible, especially from the establishment of you trying to make this history and put it in books.
Exactly.
And teach it to people. And so that frustrates, and I'll say this respectfully, it frustrates the hell out of me when you try to minimize the experience and say those types of things. So again, I am I watch the news or hear conversations and things like that. It's one thing to hear mainstream media say it, or you hear what we might perceive as typical white folks say it. But when you hear black folks say things like that, I don't know if you ever seen this this thing on social media where it's a black American who was adopted by someone who supports the Confederates, and he said he was like, "Ain't nobody gonna take my Confederate flag. Ain't nobody gonna." This is a black man, y'all, that was adopted by some white folks. They said my grandfather did this, my grandfather did that. And I'm saying the indoctrination or the lack of education or the lack of sensitivity that he has is ridiculous.
I mean, that's certainly a fictionalized, version. It's supposed to be a joke, right? And I get that. And it the truth is that black folks, we've been squeezing joy out of dust for a long time.
Joy out of
for
dust.
a long time. And that's why this book is so important, because it's an example of squeezing joy out of dust, of persevering against a system that had codified laws that you can't use this bathroom because it's for white
This water
folks.
fountain, right.
Or this water fountain and things of that nature. And we forget about that, but it wasn't that long ago. The 64, 65 Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act that was supposed to ensure that we have the opportunity to vote, that we can go to the same bathroom as anybody else, that we can try on the same clothes and the same shoes and go to the same stores, spend our money in the same kind of way, work the same kind of jobs, and get the same kind of pay.
And so it's so great. So even as you have grown up here in Detroit and you've been around and seen some things and experienced certain things, how do we shift the paradigm of Black Americans in terms of not using the institutional racism or things like that as an excuse, but understanding? That's what I tell people when I'm having a debate. They say, "Well, no, that's an excuse." I said, "It's not an excuse." I said, "There's reasons. There are reasons why people are in particular situations." And I talk about the cognitive effect that it's had down through the years. And people will sit up here and try to justify the fact that it doesn't matter, it doesn't affect them. I'm talking about black people.
Well, because we want it to not affect us. We want to believe that things are fair. And for sure, things have gotten better than they were, in our grandmother and great-grandmother times. We're not talking too long ago. It's gotten better since the 60s. It's gotten better since the 50s, since the 70s, since the 80s. Things have gotten better. We continue to progress, and our children and grandchildren continue to hope and say that the world is fair now. But then when they go to that classroom and somebody tries to touch their hair, they're wondering why they're doing that. Or when a teacher or a professor says, "You didn't really write this paper, did you?" They're wondering why they're being challenged. Or when you go to a job or you interview for a job and somebody says, "I don't really think Greg fits the culture here." The hell does that mean?
Right. And
you just met me.
And so my nephew actually he was going to school out in your area, and Liggett, as a matter of fact. And,
that's a lot of money.
and so
he was rich folks.
He was struggling as he's 7 years old.
Yeah.
And he was struggling with adapting to the culture, but it was because some of the children were making a difference. And so the reason I brought that up is because a lot of these things are still being taught in the homes, because a 5, 6, 7-year-old is just not going to come up with some sort of negative racial construct to display unless it's being taught or displayed or modeled in front of them.
For sure.
And so that kind of speaks to where we are. Okay, I think we have Dr. Reed on, and what we're going to do is going to allow him to talk about the novel, and then we're going to just let him. We won't be able to engage with him, but he's just going to talk. All right.
Good morning. This is Dr. Wilson Edward Reed, calling from Las Vegas area. I'm the author of Junebug. Junebug is a story about Wilson Edward Reed growing up in Redwood, Mississippi, back in the day. Presently, Wilson Edward Reed is a 73-year-old black man. Junebug is about his youth growing up in Redwood, Mississippi, segregated community. It's about him coming of age, dealing with segregation in every aspect of his life. It's about Junebug thinking that his whole life will be destined to grow up under Jim Crow. Inside of his home, there was family love and a support system. However, outside of the home, there was utter terror. The first 12 years of June Bug's life, over 15 civil rights workers would be killed in Mississippi. Mississippi has been deemed as one of the most hateful states in the United States. But there was love from June Bug's extended family. His mama, his extended family on both sides. He wanted to be, he was excited about learning. He learned from his parents, his dad. He was excited about learning and focused most of his early efforts on doing well in school, respecting his parents, going to church, and doing the right thing. For people that are interested in June Bug, please consider checking it out. It's less than $20, less than what you would spend on some food over at Starbucks today. Okay, so MississippiJunebug.net. Please consider buying it. It's a true story. It's a novel. We're protecting some people and not giving everybody's name, like sisters, families, and cousins, but 90% of it's a true story. It's a real story. It's a story about family love, people that supported June Bug along the way. Book is selling. The national launch for the book is 10/10 this year. Hello, Reverend Sheffield.
All right, we're going to figure all this out. I was just texting my technical folk. Is it break time? Let's take a break. We'll be right back after this.
It's the y'all, Reverend Horace Sheffield, and the wake-up call.
Reverend Horace Sheffield is live, and it's the wake-up call on WVTC Radio Detroit.
Peace and quiet. Whoever you are, sooner or later, you're going to need some. If only there was a beautiful place just minutes from where you live, where you'll find a perfect little piece of peace and quiet. Turns out there is. Your Huron-Clinton Metro Parks. With 25,000 acres, there's plenty of peace and quiet to go around. They're your Metro Parks. Come see what all the noise is about. Learn more at metroparks.com.
Hi, I'm Stacy Reeves, General Supervisor for DTE. As part of our plan to make your power more reliable, we're installing new smart technology. When it's up and running, our smart grid will have fewer and shorter power interruptions. Our crews are out every day doing everything in their power to deliver the reliability you deserve. DTE.
The soulful summer continues at the Aretha Franklin Amphitheater. Live in concert Friday, August 25th. And what we have Jeffrey Osborne. With special guest Stephanie Mills. Tickets on sale now. Available at thearetha.com. Also, the Aretha box office and Ticketmaster.com. Presented by The Right Productions.
Join us for the Detroit Association of Black Organizations Community Empowerment Speaker Series featuring prolific voices that will enlighten and inform. Come hear amazing speakers like radio host Joe Madison, actor Hill Harper, hip-hop artist MC Search, actress Erica Alexander, the incomparable Dr. Cornel West, and much more. The series takes place monthly at the Bridge Center, located at 9928 Grand River. Please visit www.debodetroitinc.com.
I'm Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabri. We are living through unprecedented times. As a result, the Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund was created. This fund, administered by the state of Michigan, is designed to help homeowners cope with pandemic-related hardships, such as delinquent property taxes. Residents may apply for up to $25,000 to help cover 2019, 2020, and 2021 tax years. Previous year's taxes must be paid in full or in a payment agreement with the Treasurer's Office. Eligible homeowners must have a qualified financial hardship that occurred on or after January 21st, 2020. You must currently own and occupy your home as your primary residence and must have owned it since January 21st, 2020. To see if you qualify, please visit waynemetro.org, call 313-388-9799, or email textinfo@waynecounty.com. We're here to help.
The Detroit Water and Sewerage Department is looking for motivated Detroiters to be a part of our team. We have opportunities for field services technicians, engineers, and customer service specialists with competitive pay and benefits. Make a real difference with the work you do every day. Join other Detroiters who are taking part protecting the pipes where we live, work, and play. Learn more and apply at detroitmi.gov/jobs. DWSD, working hard for you.
From the cotton fields of Mississippi to the highest halls of education around the United States of America, Junebug is a story of inspiration that proves that hard work and perseverance is the answer to anyone's dreams and aspirations to make them come true. Go to MississippiJunebug.net and order your copy today. Junebug, the novel by Wilson Edward Reed.
It's for y'all. It's for y'all, Reverend Horace Sheffield in the wake-up call.
Back for the final few moments. We had a great show. We're always a work in process, getting things together day by day, Saturday by Saturday. I go back a good ways with this young man to my right, Greg Bowens, in the Arch administration.
A long time ago.
That's a while ago. But a prolific writer. He always finds a certain nuance to interject himself in with that causes a stir of some conversation. I remember when you started the NACP chapter in Grosse Pointe. For example.
Right, yeah. Say that fast 3 times.
Yeah, and I think people need to know that you've had impact through that, though.
I know. We're still out there, you know. Grosse Pointe and Harper Woods. If folks say, I live out there, I don't know any black folks. Well, join the NAACP.
Yeah.
You'll meet them.
Well, I have a boat at Shore Point.
Nice.
So I crossed, go down Jefferson, and I see more black folks on off the lake walking down Grosse Pointe I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, it's a lot different. It's a lot different than it used to be. That's for sure.
Yeah, you don't want to be.
I thought it was a lot different. I was coming down here. It reminds me when I used to walk from Noble back over to Pinehurst and Schoolcraft. From
You went
Fullerton.
to Noble?
Yeah,
Wow.
right around the block.
I need to connect you with the principal. So we have the Mackenzie Noble Community Collaborative.
Oh, you do?
And we anchor these 2 schools. Dave, Ted, we do great work between those 2 schools and communities.
That would be good. And I was coming up Wyoming and about to turn left on the Grand River to go into the parking lot, and I saw something I hadn't seen, I don't think ever. You know what that was?
A white person.
Yes.
Well,
I saw white people.
They live on Indiana. They live on Kentucky. What's going on, Greg? Is first of all, what happened is people like Mildred Gaddis show, calling it, I'm leaving Detroit. Well, they were pronouncing it and being vocal and visual, and other folks are being very quiet and methodical. And all of a sudden, we woke up, they were all here. Now, what's happening? These other neighborhoods have gotten so expensive.
Right.
They know that the growth is going to happen. For example, there's a major development coming up and down Grand River. They're getting ready to redo Grand River. So now you find the whites moving in the areas, believing they're going to get ahead of the curve.
Right.
Homes over here that were we bought a property on Indiana for $10,000 or something, David.
Yes, sir.
I mean, homes over here now selling for $60,000, $70,000. And so it's happening, man. It's really happening. What I'm concerned about, which is what my daughter's been concerned about, is that, as property values go up, even though people have homes they've owned for generations, can they afford to stay in them is the issue.
You mean in terms of
tax rates?
Oh, right, yeah.
And then they can't afford to fix them. Sometimes when I land at Metro, I think I'm going to the Bahamas. I see so many blue tarps on roofs.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I feel like if a person's been in a house 30, 40 years paying taxes, we ought to find a way to put a roof on that house. That's how I feel.
That's true. You're right about that. And when I say that, I was joking about it. It's fine to see neighborhoods, change. And she looked like the lady came from here and she got some food and, went on about her way. Poverty is no respecter of race.
And I'll say
You
this
know?
too. Growing up, I grew up on 8857 Woodmont on right across from Herman Gardens, and
okay.
there were actually some of my friends, childhood friends, were white.
Oh yeah.
Our street wasn't even, I think it might have been 40-30. 40%.
Well, back then they thought you were.
Well, you know,
I had some folk on your block told me they thought you was with that aggregation.
Did you see what happened when folks got mad about tearing down that building in what used to be Chinatown?
Yes.
And Asian people came and they started protesting. So my daughter had contacted me about that because she's an activist and she gets involved in all this stuff. And she was all irate about it. She was like, how could the Ilches do that? And blah, 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 blah. And all these Asian people are mad. And I said, well, the Asian people left.
Right.
You know why they left?
There is no Chinatown.
Right. They left because there was too many black people.
Yeah. The restaurants, all that closed
right,
down
you know?
there, man.
So I wasn't mad. I said, I get it. I get it. And now they're mad because they tore down that last building and history is important and this, that, and the other thing. But I said, keep in mind that they follow the divestment of the white folks. There is discrimination, racism, knows no color barrier. And, we stand for them. They need to stand for us.
Yeah.
They tore down that building. Oh, I'm sorry.
And
They tore up Black Bottom. Where were they at when they tore up Black Bottom?
In fact, my uncle Ernest, my grandfather's older brother, had a novelty shop on Hastings when I was 4 or 5 years old. We loved to go down there because he had all kind of novelties or whatever. He lost his business, lived on Winslow and Grand River right near the Olympia, and he died as a man with a broken heart.
Right.
I mean, he had that business for 40 years. It supported his family, and he got little or nothing, man, when that freeway came through there. But here's the thing. We champion and we herald and we commend the growth that's going on in Detroit. I really think that there needs to be a shift of focus. I think we need to begin to look at how do we help long-term generational residents, not all black. We've got Latinx. We've got whites that never left, and begin to figure how we reward them for not leaving and stop using all our money to get people to brag about coming.
Well, that's true. I mean, what you do here and the perspective that you bring reminds us that it's just us, all of us. We're all in the same boat, when it comes to these issues that are oppressing folks and the wealth gap. We just happen, because of racism, to be disproportionately impacted by it.
So I got a pitch for you, right?
That's why the Trump people mad, because the white folks don't realize just how messed up things can be.
Yeah. So I want to do Greg Bowen's on the wake up call.
Wake up.
Yeah, and I think what like a commentary, maybe 2 minute, 1 minute, whatever commentary you can do. I think that'd be wonderful, man. I think and I'd like it to be focused on a vertical slice of Detroit.
What does that mean, vertical slice?
I mean, you take a knife and you cut it and you peel back the cover.
Oh, okay.
And you see what's really going on beneath some of this stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh, all right.
I mean, look at what's happening with the state government now and this commission that the governor has put in place that has actually excluded Wayne County Community College District, the largest, most financially endowed, and that trying to create an authority and supersede the elected boards and all of that. I mean, there's a lot going on, and you can't tell me that that's not tied to the fact that they really don't want that school downtown. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going. Henry Ford is trying to build stuff in their district, which the law prohibits them from doing. Mm-hmm. The state's talking about giving them a waiver. I mean, we just being bamboozled and beat up and tied up and made to kiss folks.
And I want to say
consent.
I want to say this before we go too, Greg. I really appreciate the fact that you are getting this information out about the black judges. I wasn't aware of it. I consider myself a news junkie, and I try to read. But information like this, information like the Rev just talked about Henry Ford, this is information that we need, and it continues to motivate us.
Wake up, everybody.
And help us to be more aware of what's going on.
Try to live a new way.
Oh, is that the theme song?
We got to make it the theme song. We got to start playing that. This is the wake up call.
Wake up.
Hey, y'all be safe out there. We're getting ready to wrap up here. We're so glad to have Great Bum. But, Gray, I would love for you to do some kind of commentary, man.
How early I got to be here?
Well, you don't have to be here. We can
record
tape
it. Yeah.
Oh, there, okay.
We can pre-record it, and then we can have conversation. You can call in.
Let's do it.
Or people here can respond to it.
Right.
But I think we need a provocation. We need somebody who's going to stimulate some conversation and make them think. By the way, I've been involved with what you're talking about for a while, but also the suppression file. I don't know if you know about that, where they put over 1 million people in Wayne County and black communities into a file saying don't invite them to be on the jury.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
There was a judge that was talking about that for a long time.
Yeah, Michael Fortner got the actual files. I mean, it's amazing what they do. They tell you to participate, but then they tell you we don't want you to be a part of it. So it's a crazy thing. I want to tell everybody, have a safe weekend. The weather's going to be halfway decent. And watch where you go. Keep your eyes open.
Be safe.
And be prayerful all the way. See you next week.
All right.
It's time for the wake-up call, y'all. Come on.
You've been listening to The Wake Up Call with Reverend Horace Sheffield and friends. Tune in again next week from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on the WVTC Detroit Radio Network.
He's on the line. This is knowledge and power for every mankind. For every generation that's in these streets. We making sure you ain't walking in your sleep. We're in your town, your city and community, promoting good health, wealth, and unity. Re-educating everybody, y'all. Reverend Horace Sheffield, the wake-up call. It's for y'all. It's for y'all. Reverend Horace Sheffield, the wake-up call. It's for y'all. It's for y'all. Reverend Horace Sheffield, and the wake-up call.
The views and opinions expressed on the previous broadcast are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of WVTC Radio Detroit, its advertisers, or affiliates.
Here's just one of the fine programs right here on WVTC Detroit. Congratulations to WVTC Gospel Radio, as they are again the recipients of the 2023 Stellar Award for Best Internet Radio Station of the Year. Many thanks to our viewers. Keep watching as we are winning victories through Christ. Hey y'all, summer is coming. We want to remind you of the WVTC. Wash your hands. Stay updated on your vaccinations. If you got a temperature, get a COVID test. And cover your cough. We're on a mission, so don't let COVID stop you.
You're listening to WVTC Gospel Radio Detroit, and we're flowing in the Spirit.